Welcome to the Tim Weichselbaum program. This is episode 94 of the program. Yep, you might notice that I'm a little bit taller this time around because I finally pulled the trigger. I finally pulled the trigger on them Shin implants. It was only $40,000 to be 4 inches taller. And I'm like, $40,000? That ain't that much for something that means I don't gotta get hookers anymore. That's not funny when you say it out loud. That's sad. That's the sad truth of it, man. I'm tired of getting laid by hookers. I'm tired of spending $40K a week on hookers when I could be spending $40K for life on taller shins. So now I'm tall. Here I am. I'm 5'8" now. That's it. That's as tall as they could give me without causing it to be dangerous. That's where the technical limitations are so far for the Shin implant. So I'm 5'8", and I feel 6'8". Because that's tall for me. 5'8" is tall for somebody that goes around 4 inches fewer than that. So I'm tall. Not according to society. Still, according to society, I'm still miserably short. People make fun of people that are 5'8". They go, I would kill myself if I was 5'8". Thank God I'm average size for an American, white, Nordic. Because that's not everybody in America. Mexicans are short. I love Mexicans because they're short. I don't gotta pull up my blinds all the way because I know they can't see through them if they're only my height because they're small people. I'm 5'8". I'm still below average for Nordic, white, European slave owners and Irish people. Irish people are not that tall typically, but I hate them because they're snooty and they come here. They make an ass of themselves by bringing their drunken culture to the redneck states of Arkansas and wherever, they become cops. I don't hate cops. I love cops. I'm pro-cop, but I'm anti-Irish because they're hoity-toity. They're like, okay, let's not get started on things I hate, on people I hate. Things I hate is fine, but people you hate that's where you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. But speaking of me, I'm a self-inclined person who doesn't have anything to be fired from, and that's why I'm talking so candidly. I'm talking as if there's not even a camera that I'm looking into. Why am I looking into the camera? It's fucking creepy. I'm just going to look over here, man. I'm going to talk into the microphone. I'm going to look at the microphone. It's just also weird because, why do you have this big thing recording you? That's weird, too. I'm going to switch to a lav. I'm going to switch to a lavalier from France. I'm going to call up France and be like, hey, what are your lavaliers? Because it's really dumb. It's really pretentious to be looking at a camera, talking into a big microphone as if you're saying something that needs to be heard. That's stupid. I'm not going to do that anymore. So I hate a lot of people, is the point I'm making, and I'm self-determined to fight communism on this podcast. That's why I'm doing this. This is a political podcast where I talk about the upcoming election and end of civilization as we know it, which is America. America's ending for the worst. It's going down a tube. Just one, not the tubes, not going down the tubes. It's just going down a singular tube called hell. It's going to hell in a handbasket. And Donald J. Trump is the uniter. He unites people that are smart against the people that are crazy and ugly and mental. Stupid people. A lot of people that are united by Trump. And it doesn't sound like people say he's divisive. People say he's divisive because he pushes people apart, actually. But actually, it gives us a reason to throw those people out. It's good, though. It's a good thing because those people have different values. They don't like America. They don't like their own country, and that's serious. This is going to be a serious episode. That's why I'm not smiling. There's nothing funny about this topic at all. But those people that hate Trump, they hate him more than I like him. And that's saying something because I have everything that he sells. I'm in the clan. I'm in the club. Not the clan. I'm in that too, but that's a different story. I'm talking about the cult of personality. Trump. I'm in the cult of Trump. It's a good song. Cult of Personality. And he plays a lot of good music at his concerts. It's actually pretty funny. He plays serious, like, emotional music, like as if you're watching like a movie. When he's wrapping up his speech, he's like, "We're good. It's terrible what these guys are doing. You know, they're pumping babies into the garbage. They're throwing out babies into the bathtub water. They're throwing out the baby with the bath water." That's how he talks. Yeah, they hate, you know. There's all these wars. He's going down the tube, and he's playing this dramatic music during his speech. Like, dude, is this a movie? And it's like, well, he's learned a lot from Hollywood. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, look at Obama. He wasn't even born here, and he somehow got all these Jews to support him. And Jews, they only pretend to like black people to take the heat off of their creepy asses. And that's not funny. I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, you know, I've said that on stage at a comedy show before, but that was because I was trying to be funny. That's a different context. Same words, different purpose of, like, sure. Sometimes I say things that I try to say that, to get a laugh. And people go, "Oh, that's funny." It gets them to listen whenever you start a sentence by, "The reason Jews pretend to like black," like, people will just perk up their ears. Like, "Oh, wait, why? That's interesting. Why? What's the real reason?" I didn't even know that first of all. So you're throwing a lot of shit. Like, that's how you get people to listen at a comedy show if you're not good at comedy. Because they would not listen to you if you're not somebody they give a crap about. Like, if you're not a famous comedian, if you're not good at comedy, you just say the most shocking thing in the shortest amount of words possible. So one of my premises, it was to just go, if it doesn't matter if you're bombing too, you could say this at any time of the set. You could be bombing, but they will, if you start saying that, they'll be like, "Okay, I'll give this a chance." Why do Jews pretend to like black people? And I say that because it's funny to be like edgy and be like, Jews they don't actually like black. They pretend because they're the creepy ones. And if there's another race that people also don't like, that's why they like them, because they're like using them as human shields. The whole group of people. We're talking about groups of people. That's, you know, it's difficult to generalize because people don't like it. It's actually very easy to generalize, but it's hard to do it in a way that people don't want to kill you, or at least, you know, you boo or whatever. But anyway, so I'm not kidding though. I say a lot of jokes when I used to do comedy, but then I finished. I didn't quit. I finished. Because what do you say after that? What do you say after that joke, that premise? Okay, anyway, dating is weird, man. Tinder, man. So I was on Tinder, man, and I didn't get very far on there because it didn't work out very well. And isn't that funny? So you can't talk about mundane. You can't change the subject. You can't top that. That's a closer bit, and it's only a 2-line. I don't even know if it went anywhere. It was just a 2-line bit, and it wasn't that good, I don't think. And so, that's what I did before I finished my comedy career. I got paid a lot of money, man. Enough to call it a career, man. I had to pay my taxes and say I was a comedian on the tax forms. So that's how you know I was good at. I was I'm not just messing around. I was a real comedian. But the point is I was amateur. Because you can only do 2 minutes at a time. Because all my bits were just like saying the most crazy, insulting, potentially offensive shit. Not necessarily offensive. I wasn't, because it's clever. So it's enough to be like, okay, I get where he's going. Some people actually thought it was funny, and they came up, they're like, hey man, you're funny. It's like, yeah, but were you not hearing what I said about how Jews are bad people and like others about women? Didn't you hear the jokes? It's like, how did they just go, yeah, but it's funny. I get it. You do a character up there. It's like, okay, it's a character based on how I live my life, how I think and act. Okay, sure, it's a character. I get out of bed, I look in the mirror, I do my teeth, I brush my teeth, I floss at night. I don't floss in the morning. Nothing happened to where I need to floss it. So I'm looking in the mirror and I'm going, man, I hate several groups. I hate the human race. I just hate people and want everybody I want most people to die. I say that to myself, and I say it on stage, and people go, oh, it's a good character, man. It's a good character. And I think these people are just mentally ill. Or it's just like, maybe they're just really good. Maybe they're just like comedy aficionados, and they just think that it's a character because they love comedy and they just think it's funny. I think it's funny to say it on, it kind of ran out of steam. It's like, okay, what else could I possibly say? I've already thrown so many groups of people under the bus, and it becomes redundant. So it's like, okay, how racist is he going to be tonight? You don't really get a lot of opportunity in show business when that's your act in 1994. And it's not even 1994. That was 30 years ago. And even then, it wouldn't have probably got you very far. So, this is like, we're talking like a waste. That was like a waste of time. But I guess so I'm just saying, it wasn't a joke. I think it was funny, but also I mean it. Like somebody's like, hey man, you do jokes like they're misogynistic, man, but you're funny. It's like, yeah, but the point of it was to be misogynistic. You're not listening to the words in between the lines, are you? You're just taking it as a joke. You're taking it as face value, because he's doing it as a joke. Because you think because he's getting laughs, that means he doesn't actually believe the misogyny underline. I'm just being literal. I don't have to do a character. I don't have to step into this ironic state of mind to come up with this shit. I just go, oh man, I hate how women are so ugly and fat compared to 50 years ago. Like, the 70s, the beaches were all the women were hot. And they all had roller skates on because they could actually fit into them without breaking their ankles or rolling their ankles because they're so disproportionate. So that's it. I don't hate women. I'm just saying, that's not why I don't hate women. I'm just saying I hate that I hate those women. I hate all the women that are alive. Just most of the ones alive today in this country. And I don't hate them. I'm just noticing this distaste. I have a distaste for it. That's different than hate. So it's like, but that's me. I'm being honest. I go like, I just wake up in a haze of like half asleep. It's like, that's the first thought. Because you're inundated with liberal agendas on the internet. So you just go, what is popular today? Oh, being fat and ugly. Being fat and ugly is what's trending. So I go, oh, I'm just reacting to that. I just go, well, that's gross. I don't want none of that. And people don't like Trump, and I hate, and that makes them also, I hate that. They go, I'm ugly. It's like so many things to not like. It's like, am I the misogynist or am I just being reasonable? So we could argue until we're blue in the face about whether these opinions are actually bad. I'm just saying, they're true. They're not jokes. I present them as jokes because it's fun. And I get a rise out of it. I think that's what I find funny because it's true. All right, so let's start the show. So I got Shin implants is the bottom line. $40K, so now I don't got to pay to get laid. I could just be myself. Because 5'8" is tall. In some Asian countries, let's just call it that. You know, some Asian countries, 5'8" is like just above average. Just above average. So you're tall. Like, you don't have to be self-conscious about, I'm short. No, you're above average. People are going to consider you like a taller dude. Not tall, but taller. Taller. Because there's always going to be Yao Mings taking your dick away, cock-blocking you just by being by virtue of being tall. Well, I deeply must apologize for that. There was a technical difficulty here where my camera just decided to stop working. It stopped pushing the feed out to my computer, and now I'm out of steam, and now the rest of the podcast is gonna suck because it's now a two-parter, and I don't like doing two-parters, so it's gonna suck. So anyway, back to what I was saying. It's the 2024 election season coming up, and it's also Father's Day coming up. And one of the nicest things a daughter can do on Father's Day is call up their dad. It's one of the best gifts a dad could get from his estranged daughter is a phone call saying, hey, you know what? I decided to vote for Trump after all. You were right after all. All those Trump flags that I just thought were stupid and tacky and worse than tacky. Like, all those things you're doing that I found repulsive. I grew up. I got rid of my tattoos. I'm no longer a whore on Patreon or OnlyFans or Fansly, whatever. I'm no longer a whore. .com. I no longer use technology to whorevertise myself. Long story short, I think it's cool to be a guy like you who just unapologetically loves his country. I don't know why we ever disagreed on that, to be honest. I guess I just liked getting paid to have sex with myself. Because I'm a whore. I used to be a whore. And I got rid of the tattoos. I'm now somewhat presentable. Now I just got to lose 30 pounds, and maybe I'll get a husband that's almost half as good as you. And if he doesn't vote for Trump, why not for me? That'd be the best gifts you could give to somebody on Father's Day. And so anyway, it is the 2024 Trump election. That's what it's called. Nobody's calling it the Biden-Trump election or they're calling it the Trump election because it's the most memorable. It's the funnest one since last year. It feels like a year ago. It was actually 4 years ago. 2020. I remember 2020. Early 2020 when the world was shut down. I was staying at home, much like I am now, except I lived in a Democrat-run shithole of a city. So I looked out my window at these high-rises, and I knew these were Democrats living in these high-rises, and I also knew that Trump was going to win. So I thought that when he won, turns out they didn't admit he won, so this didn't happen. But I was like, I can't wait until they announce that he won, because I have a view of all these households, all these residential buildings. I, had a view of like hundreds of windowsills of Democrats. And I'm not saying I want them to jump out the way. I'm not wishing death on anybody. It's not that. I just wanted to see them like think about it. I just wanted to see them ruminate you like stick their head out the window and be like, yeah, I could probably die if I think this is enough height. I didn't want them to actually do it because that would have traumatized me, man. But I did want them to suffer just because for my own entertainment. And that didn't happen. They did the opposite. They jumped out in celebration. I remember the day. It was like sometime in February or something of 2021. They announced that Biden stole the election. And so these Democrats were partying so hard that like at least a dozen of them fell off their balconies onto an Uber car or something. Like I heard a big bang. I heard like the sound that a car makes when it's being hit by a human body. It was funny. It didn't traumatize me because I was already traumatized by the election being frivolously, dangerously, absurdly taken from the democratic system that it used to be just, when Hillary last tried to get it. When Hillary ran, that was a legit loss. She didn't know how to communicate with the people of the country. You think I was sitting there like stoked to vote for Hillary? Oh yeah, she's the wife of Clinton. Okay. She's the wife of Clinton. She's not a Clinton. You don't call her a Clinton. She's just the wife of the real Clinton. Turns out he's a creepy guy. Turns out he's like, whatever. I don't want to say the P word because there's no evidence. Just because he went to the island a couple hundred times doesn't mean you're one of those guys. It just means you like tropical weather. I give presidents the benefit of the doubt times 1,000. I give them more doubt than the average elite guy that goes to Jeffrey Epstein's island. Because, come on. It's like going to Camp David. It just happens to be in the Caribbean and with a Jewish guy. So nothing... I don't see why people are so up and have their panties up in a bunch. But she was terrible at rallying the average guy that voted for Trump or whatever. She was horrible at it. What did she? I don't even remember a single one of her rallies. I remember her getting thrown into a van. You think that helped? Seeing somebody get thrown into a van? That's your president? Oh man, I gotta vote for that. Not her, that. I gotta vote for that body that's lifeless. Yeah, that gets me pumped up to go to the polls. Seeing somebody get thrown into a van. Like, it was so weird when that video... Because she was limp. And the way they handled her was not very... soft. They treated her like a dummy. It was not very professional. But is that what politicians do? Politicians get treated like objects when they're not conscious? Why? I don't get it. Maybe I'm not trying to spread a conspiracy theory that she's like inhuman or like a robot or something. She's not a robot. I just think it's weird that like somebody supposedly on the upper echelon just gets thrown into a van. So it didn't do it for me. I was like, that's creepy. It wasn't a good look. That's, as the kids say, that it just wasn't a good look, because we have no way of describing things back in my day. We had to just go on these long-winded explanations of like, but now we just say, oh man, that hits different, man. That shit hits different. It's like, how did we go all this time without that utilitarian shorthand that we got now, that the kids use? They go, man, they say, man, they say, I forgot the first one already, but it hits different. For some reason, that bugs the crap out of me because now it's everywhere. That's what I hate about it. So, because people just love being, like, it's a good phrase, I guess, but not when people that sell milk use it. Not when people that work at minimum wage. Like, you're not Snoop Dogg. You're not hip. You can't say that shit. Everybody wants to use the current trendy phraseology. Man, this shit hits different, man. This shit don't hit the same way, you know. This shit hit different. It's like, dude, you sell credit cards for a bank. No, that's not a bad job. I don't want to shit on bankers. That's not a bad job. They could say it. But you're a guy on Reddit. You're a guy on the internet, and that's your life. Like, I know that's my life too. But I'm not poor, though. And I don't jump on bandwagons like Trump supporters or people like that. I don't just support the current popular thing. That's what I just freaking... Even if it's a good cause, like Trump supporters, I hate the idea of just like jumping on a bandwagon just because everybody else is doing it. I didn't know any Trump supporters before it took me a long time to meet a single Trump supporter, and then I went on the internet, and they're everywhere on the internet. They're all over the internet. It's like, well, I like people on the internet better, right? Like there's horrible people on the internet. There's also best people ever on the internet. So it's like, okay, if cool people are doing it, maybe the people around me are the losers after all. Have you ever thought of that? Why are people so geocentric? They just think, well, I'm in a city where we all dance to the same drum beat. We're all just blue wavers. We all wave the gay flag, which I also hate. I hate the rainbow now. I used to like the rainbow. When I see a rainbow, I go, ugh. Are they getting married now? We used to keep that shit behind closed doors. We used to keep that on the DL. Or no, what do they say now? People, another stupid phrase that people say now is low key. Dude, I was low key checking that shit. Dude, low key, man, you're looking pretty. Dude, low key. I would actually fuck that person. Like low key. Like I hate that phrase. I hate that term. That stupid fad language that people appropriate from some first cool person that said it. Probably Snoop Dogg or somebody like that said it on a podcast or on an album or something. And then now every yokel who works at Walmart is saying all these hip phrases, and then they die and you never hear from them again. And then I start using them, and I look like a jerk because now I'm the old guy using something that's not cool. Well, it has I'm not hating on the actual utilitarian. Low key, man, it shit don't hit the same. And what's the first one? I already forgot. So anyway, people in Chicago is a huge city, so everybody's like, well, it's a big city, so I can't go against 3 million people with my singular different opinion on filling the abortion or something, or gay marriage, which I don't have. I don't care about gay marriage, but let's just say that I'm just listing things. That'd be funny if to be against gay marriage, to be honest. You know, that's funny. Gay people would probably be like, that's funny. That's cool that you still don't like gay marriage. I've been married for like 10 years and you still don't like, okay. You want to come to my Thanksgiving? That's what I would do if I was a gay person that was married. I'd be like, you don't like gay? Okay, well, do you hate me for doing it? Because, I mean, I'm not going to like rule you out of my life just because of that one funny opinion that happens to go against the grain a little bit. That used to be normal just 10 to 15 years. So that's one. But, you know, Chicago people are so geocentric. They think, well, if everybody around me is digging this jam, that I must just, it must be cool. Even though there's millions of people just on the internet, even closer to where those, you know, super close to me. It's just right near my face. I'm seeing people that actually I like better than these idiots around me. Maybe that's my thing, is I have a high standard. I'm a people hater. I think most people are not worth my time. So for me to like somebody, they have to be on the internet, which because the internet is so big that you're bound to find at least one cool person on that thing. So it's like, yeah, of course I'm going to choose those people that are cooler, and okay, I like them. They have different opinions. Maybe I'll think about it if I want to change my opinions based on them. Maybe I'll steal their, because that's all anyone does. All people do is just steal other people's opinions, just like the catchphrases that I was just talking about. It hits different, though. It hits different to do, for nothing to be different about anything. Low key. So, I think that explains, I hate that. So, people are dumb. They go, what? I don't know. I forgot why I was so passionate about that. But the 24 election is a fun time to be alive. It's even better than 2020 because people have gotten so sculpted. They've gotten more radical because not only did they steal the election and they're happy. You would think they'd be happy about that. But they keep using that as like ammunition against Trumpers. They go, they're conspiracy theorists. They're like, yeah, there's no evidence that they actually stole the election. It's just fun. It's just fodder. Because it feels like they did. It just feels like they did. It's like, he couldn't even get Georgia. So something must have gone, or, Pelosi must have done something. Who knows? I don't know. I doubt. I don't really know. But it's fun to just go along with that conspiracy theory because Trump says it's true. And, he's wrong. He's probably wrong. He says a lot of crazy shit that I don't agree with. But it's more, I like it. It just works. It has a slickness to it that sounds better than drugging children and whatever the liberals do. They drug children and they get them to chop off their genitals, like whatever, man. They let the people come over the border to have abortions. I hate that. So the point I'm making is that people hate Trump even more, even though he lost. It's like you'd think they would lighten up a little bit. Like, he lost, and people still hate him even more. And they want to, like, arrest Trump supporters, whatever. I spent a lot of time on Twitter. That's how I got pumped up for this episode, is by going on Twitter for a couple hours. That's all it takes to get warmed up for public speaking. Just go on Twitter, reply to a bunch of libtards, whatever you want to call them, like unfuckable people that have nothing going on, even less than me. People that have even less going on than me, who post about Trump at least 40 to 50 times a day, and that's their existence. Because they have a following, and the reason they do it is because it works. If you say something pointed about Trump on Twitter, you'll get a lot of reactions. I'm one of them, because it riles me up. It's like, what'd you say about him? What'd you say about the only father figure in my life? The only positive father figure I have? What'd you say about my dad? That's what it feels like. So you go, fuck you. You would fucking, you're not even hot. Or you're a has-been. It's always these has-been celebrities or just old men and women. They're just unfuckable women. Not, like Barbra Streisand. Like, she's coming out of the woodwork, out of complete obscurity, to just shit on some guy that people love. It's like, get out of here, Babs. Go back to your Hollywood mansion that's on a beach that everybody knows what it looks like. Go back to your Malibu mansion on a cliff. Who would want to live on a cliff? I wouldn't want to live on a cliff. Whether it's on a beach, I don't care. It's a beautiful property. It's too opulent, though. He's too opulent. She, you know, so a lot of men, many others. Stephen King, he's a has-been. He's great in his heyday when he was doing coke and being a booze hound. But now that he's sober, there's nothing worse than a dry, drunk has-been celebrity. At least stay drunk and happy if you're going to be an old man, or at least if you're going to be a has-been. That's two things. And then Mark Hamill is another one. I thought he was somewhat successful still, enough to not go down that road, but he's a cocksucker. Like he sucks the cock of Hollywood to milk it for praise, for affirmation, to feel like he's still in Star Wars, like he's still got a lightsaber. Well, he's got a lightsaber. He's got a lightsaber, all right, but it's up his ass. This guy doesn't shut up about Trump this, Trump that. And it's like, dude, you're in your 70s. Why don't you like him? The only reason you don't like the guy is because you are not getting what he's getting. He's doing amazing for a guy in his late 70s. He's like peaking in his career, and you're at the bottom of your career after all this success. He's probably like jealous of Carrie Fisher, because she at least is adored permanently for being dead. When she was alive, no one gave a crap. She would have been doing the same desperate bullshit, but he's not dead. So he's like, damn, I'm famous, but I'm not. Losing fame is the worst feeling in the world. That's why Will Smith, you know, punched or slapped Chris Rock, because he is irrelevant, even though he won Best Actor or something. Then he said losing fame is the worst feeling in the world. So that's why I had to slap Chris Rock and say, you become more sensitive. Anyway, it's easy. It's just transparent. I mean, it's like Stephen King, Rob Reiner. It's like he made some great movies. He has a very highbrow sense of humor, man. Like The Princess Bride is a great timeless movie because of the comedy. Like it's from the 80s, but the comedy is what makes it hold up because it's so smart. And then he also did Spinal Tap, which holds up, which is incredible. And so he's obviously a talented dude, but when your career dries up, you get slapped by this feeling of like being on withdrawals from heroin. It's worse than being on heroin withdrawals, because that at least goes away, and it's not as good. Like heroin, it just makes you feel good, but you don't get any rosy memories as much as you do from putting out great classic films. It's just heroin. Sure, you romanticize like how great it, like, oh, so it feels so good. I remember how good. Sure, that part stays, but it's not complicated. It's a simple pleasure. So anyway, he's not relevant anymore. He's in his 80s. He's old. Why doesn't he like? He's the same age as Trump. He should love him. Well, because he's competing with him for limelight. So why would I let him say all his words are meaningless. They're just like, okay, he's just venting out his frustration that he's not successful. See, okay, that's not substantive. It's not substantive. It's not a reason to vote a certain way because a celebrity is trying to get attention, man. It's like, when was Taylor Swift is the only person I could think of that actively hates Trump or like advertises her hatred towards Trump that isn't irrelevant. I don't know what that's about. That's something I'll have to come back to explain, because I can't. Because so far she's the exception to the rule. Every celebrity that hates Trump and advertises that fact is doing it because they're not relevant. It's like looking through a glass of water. It's like, dude, I could see right through what you're doing. It's like, you're a has-been. I mean, even Kathy Griffin, she put out the head thing and that was, was it supposed to be funny? Maybe. wasn't funny to me. Well, I don't think, and again, it was not funny because that's only because she's a chick. If a dude did it, like if Tom Segura did the exact same thing and like smiled in it, it'd probably be funny because he's just a funnier person, you know? She's never been funny. She's not a funny person, man. She's just like a loud... I don't get it. I think she was just one of the only women doing it in the 90s or 80s or whatever, man. She's not talented, man. So anyway, like, I would say if she was, so anyway, it's these untalented has-beens. If you're secure with where you're at in your career, or lack thereof, you want to do stunts like that. Like Justin Bieber, he ain't trashing Trump. Maybe he did it once in passing, or not famously, not infamously, because Bieber is not an insecure twad. He's a voice of an angel, and he has an abundance of success still. He's not walking around his mansion going, how do I get more relevance? How do I show, I want to be the talk of the town? It's like, you still look like a 12-year-old. You're still the talk of the, you're still relevant, man. You're the most relevant white singer. I'm surprised Chris Brown hasn't trashed Trump. He must love the guy. Kanye didn't even have to fucking endorse Trump. That's the opposite. That's when you're so successful that you endorse Trump. So that gets us to the conundrum of Taylor Swift. The only reason Taylor Swift hates Trump is because Kanye loves him. If Kanye never started beef with Taylor Swift would still be a country singer. She would love the wall, like building. She would hate immigrants. She would love everything about Trump. If it was like, because she's successful. Because successful people like other successful people when they're actually successful. When you're actually receiving success, you get humble. You go like, oh, I don't care. You could say whatever you want. You're not as sensitive. You're more protected. Your ego is protected by success if it's currently substantial, if it's sufficient. Then you could go anywhere. You don't need like a posse around you. You could just be like John Lennon, walking around New York. Like, I'm John Lennon. I don't give. You could say whatever you want to me. When the Beatles get it, hey, good one. It doesn't even bug me that you're asking that stupid question, because I don't care about the Beatles. I've hit all the success levels I need to hit. I'm not even doing music right now. Okay, he did a couple albums. He was a creatively fulfilled person. He didn't, success was, Michael Jackson. He would have loved Trump. So I rest my case, low key. I think that's all I need to say. Unless, there's no reason to make it hit different. So it's fun though, because now I have a reason. Now I have a purpose to put myself out there. I think I'm going to start doing stand-up again, or what I call stand-up. What other people call stand-up. I call it just going up there and doing what Trump does, just reading off a teleprompt, just ad-libbing, and just talking trash about how the country's going to shit. That's what I'm going to do. And as long as my heart is in it, it'll kill. I don't give a crap if other people don't like it, because if it's my truth that I'm spitting out, it'll kill, and even in front of these ugly tattooed women that I'm above now, because I'm 5'8". Now that I'm 5'8", I don't even have to have a personality. I already had a horrible personality, but now I'm tall. So it doesn't even matter if my personality is garbage, man. All I have to do is I don't even have to have a personality. Just don't talk. I mean, just be like, if you're gonna talk as a tall guy and and you're just trying to get laid, all you do is just go. You just make noise. You just grunt. You just go like yep. You go yep, 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 yep. Giddy up. You don't need to say sentences. You just need to make noises, man. Because that's all they care. They just want to see like a hunk of meat making noises like a horse. That's all they want. You don't have to say sentences like have meaning to, unless you're saying something like super positive about women's rights, or don't even go down that stupid rabbit hole. It'll backfire. It always backfires. You know? Just say, giddy up, I love Texas. I don't know. I can't even think of what to say. I just say like, yeah. Just say like platitudes like, the stars are so beautiful tonight, and like that's it. It doesn't even matter the context. If you're in a ticket window, you know, like, okay, it's gonna be $600 for these Taylor Swift tickets. Like, yeah, the stars are looking pretty good tonight. That's my wife right there. She'll pick up the tab. That's my wife right there. That's my girl. Just say shit. Say the Cowboys are playing tonight. The Cowboys playing. Just say shit that men say, and it doesn't matter if it's hollow. So yeah, my personality is one of the worst, but one of the worst, not the worst. Like, there's people that are insufferable, and I'm like only mildly unapproachable. Like, I'm just unapproachable, and like people, like, they go, I'm just like, yeah, like they don't notice that I'm there. That's not the worst you could be in the world. Like, there's people that are likable and outgoing and like fun to be around, and people love them, and that seems exhausting. It's not that I have no idea how to be likable. It's just, you just go like this. You just go, oh, you look so good. Oh, Larry, how you doing today? Oh, I remember you when you wore that. You look so good in that top. You just go like this. You just go, you look so good today. Remember that? Oh, that's how I am. Just make jokes about yourself. Have a style, you know, have a consistent personality that people find cute. Just be like, my Cowboys, they're doing, you know how I feel about my Cowboys. Just have like tropey characteristics that people like. I don't have any of that shit. I'm just a guy that just like, I don't have any like things that people know about me. I don't have like a personality is what I'm saying. Like, if you just have, it's not hard. I get how to have a personality. You just go like, oh man, I don't just be like even if it's like a negative thing, like if you hate people, it's like, if you're homophobic, that could be a fun personality. It's like, oh, that's you, and you're hating the gays. I love that guy. He's always talking shit about the gay. That's fine, because people know what to expect. That's something that a lot of people don't have, is like a consistent. Some people are more complicated. Some people don't only hate gay people, and that's their whole personality. I'm one of those people. Like, I have many things I hate. Every day it might be something different, you know. Like, it's just like not consistent. People are like, oh, what? I don't even know this guy. So I get it. I get why I'm not getting anywhere in life, you know, socially speaking. Like, I'm very almost negative, you know, square one. But it seems exhausting to have a personality and stick to it and not get bored of the same shit. It's like, because you could kill one day, you could be like the funniest, most approachable guy ever, but then the next day it's like, okay, I'm tired of that shit. So you're just quiet. You go like, okay, I guess he doesn't have a person. I guess he was just drunk that day. I don't know. So I get it. I get why you're not going to get very far in life if you don't have a personality, man. But I choose not to. And yeah, I don't choose not to. I don't feel like it. That's really it. I just don't. It's exhausting, man. It's like lifting weights. Like, every day, it's like, okay, pee. be fun. No, I'm going to be myself. And for people that are successful in that, they are just being themselves. They're not forcing it, man. So I'm not going to force it. Myself is a reserved, unless I'm drunk, bitter, and like, not bitter, but like I come off as very like disinterested in people. I come off as a jerk because I don't like smile, and I don't talk to people. And just by not approaching other people, it makes you look like a dick. It makes you look like you're too good for them. So that's what I do. But, you know, I'm not going to make excuses for it, because that's not what this podcast episode, it's not what this is about. This is about not caring. It's not, like, I just don't care to be something I'm not. I don't like people, man, because most people, they're hiding something. If you have an outgoing personality, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough to get anywhere in life to just being like a complete shell of a person with zero social skills. Like, you don't even like say hi to people when you walk in a. That's where I'm at. I have zero social ability to just. I don't even say hi to people. You know, I just go. Oh. So anyway, I don't know why we got on that subject, but we're gonna leave that subject. And anyway, so it's a fun year. It's Trump season all year, and Father's Day and Mother's Day and whatever. You know, vote. You know, I'm not gonna get a Trump flag. That's a stupid thing to say. Anyway, who cares about? I'm messing up about that. Shin implants. I already talked about that. I already talked about everything. And I'm exhausted, by the way. I've been standing on this freaking balance board this entire episode, and it's exhausting. I'm on a balance board. That's why I'm swaying. It's like a board with a ball in the middle, and it's to make it so you don't stand wrong. It's to make it so you evenly distribute the weight on your joints. You're not just like making, you know, you don't get a Charlie horse. So anyway, let's get into other news before wrapping up this stupid podcast. The S&P 500. I'm a wealthy individual. I don't know if I made that clear. I'm a very wealthy individual. I'm a self-made inheritor of a trust fund, and that's hard to not spend it all in one day. Because if I did, I wouldn't be wealthy anymore, dude. And why would I want to be? Why would I do this? My house is losing value, so that hurts that's worse than being Will Smith and losing fame. Anyway, so the stock market is my current way to extract wealth from the economy and to put it into my pocket so I could buy more shirts, like, you know, buy more denim shirts. And the S&P 500... Weird to talk about this after talking about all that other shit. The S&P 500 hit an all-time high, and it didn't feel like it was going to do that. Even though we've been on like a bull market, usually it winds down at the beginning of the year. Usually it doesn't carry over the holiday, Christmas bull run. Doesn't usually carry over. So anyway, that's just really interesting, really fun. But it doesn't mean I'm making money. I lost a shitload of money by selling options and then, you know, going against me. So, but then the Bitcoin ETF also came out. Those are cool. So Bitcoin is a big thing to hopefully it goes to 100K and at least 100K this year or next year, because I'm not rich enough. You know, like wealth and rich are different things. Did I say wealthy earlier? Or did I say I'm a wealthy individual? Yeah, I'm not. But I want to be wealthy enough where I don't have to show it or talk about it. And I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to achieve that status. Because once you have enough wealth, you'll be protected by your immigrants or your ego will be protected by immigrants is what I meant to say. Not immigrants. Your ego will be protected by bad people saying judgy shit because you'll be like, well, I'm so much better than you, so I'm not offended. But when I don't have enough money in my bank account or wherever portfolio, then I feel like a loser, even if I already still have more than any, if I've still more than that person that's insulting me, I'm still going to hate them. So if you have a shitload of money, it's like, well, I'm better than you, so I don't. Your voice changes as you get richer. Your voice changes. You get more elitist sounding. You go, well, I don't give a fuck. You don't even curse the same. You use more ornate curse words. You say fruck instead of fuck. Because poor people say fuck. Look at that fucking guy over there. Man, fuck it. That's such a twangy, rednecky, poor person way of speaking. I said, I don't fucking care about you. You're only... How much money do you have in your... I mean, you don't even have it... Yeah, it sounds bad, but it's true. If you have more money, if you have a lot of money, it makes you feel like, oh, well, I don't give a shit about somebody making fun of me or dissing me or whatever, because look at all these things I have. It's that simple. It's I'm trying to be I'm trying to be like, I'm a modest person. I'm very modest. I live in a one-story house. So I live on a ranch, whatever you call it. I would not buy a Malibu mansion. That's ridiculous. Real estate isn't even a good investment right now. Bitcoin and stocks are also not a good investment because it's already very expensive right now. What is a good investment? For me, nothing. It's options still. I'm still doing the options. I'm doing the wheel. If you don't know what that is, well, if I talk about it enough times and make money from it, eventually people will start to care about it because they'll be like, how did this asshole get a 2-story Malibu mansion? Okay, well, because of the wheel. Just look it up. It's called the options wheel strategy. I got a spreadsheet going, keeping track of all the stocks that have been assigned to me just in the past month because they went past my strike prices. So I own 1,000 shares of Spirit Airlines. I am a proud shareholder of that airline. And Coinbase, I own a bunch of that now, 200, a lot of shares of that. And I own Mara, which is a Bitcoin stock. Hopefully it goes back up so I could sell it and get my money back plus the premiums. That's it. So it's not, I got to recover from last year from the 0 DTEs where I lost all of my college. I don't know. I lost a lot of money. I could have spent that on like shit I didn't need. So anyway, this has been episode 94 of the Tim Weisselbaum Show. And, low key, I hate... And I don't want to end on a negative note. I'm getting a mandolin. So next time you see me, I'm going to have a mandolin added to my collection of stringed instruments because I need it for a song that I'm recording. Because I'm a song person. Anyway, this has been episode shippy-dibby of the Tim Weisselbaum Show. Have a good rest of the week, y'all. Peace and love.